I guess if you're starting something new, you should just, I guess, like, introduce each other. Not each other, but introduce ourselves. So, like, just the classic, like, Ramenstyle, please introduce yourself. Tell me where you came from, what you did before this, what you're doing now, kind of thing.
Yeah.
Simple as that.
Typical intros. I think we could like close out with exactly why we want to do it.
Yeah,
like pilot and
who we are, what we do, and why we started this. I think that's it.
Yeah, who we are. Sounds good. All right.
You go for it. You got this.
All right, we can start here. Let's go. So we're officially calling this the podcast, by the way. And this is something that Defrag and I have been talking about for a bit now behind the scenes, and I've mentioned on stream a couple of times as well. So if you guys are from within our community, you guys kind of heard of this plan that we wanted to start a podcast. So here we are.
Here it is.
Hi. This is where it starts, guys. So episode 1.
Yeah, we've got nothing to talk about.
We're that's it. Thank you guys for listening. And
appreciate it. Like, comment, subscribe, donate.
All right. So, what we can expect from this, really quick. This will be like we're trying to make this like an audio video experience. We'll probably have this up on YouTube somewhere on youtube.com/somewhere, and we'll have this on Spotify and all that distributing. But before anything, I guess officially the podcast starts here. We can start with who we are first, especially for those of you who have no idea who we are. But who's going to see this? Who doesn't know us? This is for you guys. This is for us. This is for me. This is for Defrag. This is for those of you who are part of my community, Defrag's community, and just our whole community as a whole, I guess. But I guess we can get into who we are. I mean, we can go into detail, guys. So
let's go right back to the basics. What weight were you when you were born?
Yeah, so it was. I don't even remember. But we can start with you, Deef. Like, actually, I don't know much about you either. So that's gonna be interesting. I don't know much about you aside from the fact that I met you through Carve 'em Up and all that. But you used to be a streamer. You're now a legendary YouTuber and a Twitter celeb. Also
all those things.
There's a lot of celeb friends. Yes.
Yeah.
Who are you? What are you?
Like, so the way there's like A-list celebrities and B-list. Like, there's 26 letters in the alphabet, but I think I'm like the 27th letter of celebrities that you speak.
So,
like below Z-list.
Let me cut you off for a bit. It's a great start to the podcast. I fucked it up already, Buzz. I forgot to record my audio. I'm starting here. So
I'm keeping that in.
If we keep that in, this is when my audio gets better. Look, I know
my quality immediately changes right
now.
No, there we go.
For those of you who are about to call me out, look, right? It was a long day of streaming. I just ended my stream. It's almost midnight here, so shut up. Deef, go on with your story.
Right. So I am Defrag. I used to stream pretty regularly, but going further back to what kind of brought me to where we are right now doing this podcast is my main job is writing music. I'm a composer and a sound designer, and I've been doing it with a salary for about 10 years now. Without a salary, a bit longer than that. So we go back to like sort of 2012, really. So I guess less than 10 years. So about 8 years with a salary, longer without it. And I went through that, enjoyed making music, and I had a bit of YouTube experience with that, where we put up our own video game music, and people from the games really loved that. And I was like, oh, it's pretty interesting, having a YouTube channel. And then fast forward to 2013, and like me and my friends were playing a lot of me and one of my best friends in particular were playing a lot of Battlefield 3 and 4, and then with the rest of us, we were doing a lot of CS:GO competitive, which, as you know, Ramen can be it can be
toxic.
it can be toxic, it can be hilarious, it can be everything in between. So we had some real serious players and some not so serious players. So it just always led to like really funny matches whenever we were trying to be like competitive, and everything was just falling apart at the seams. And I was like, this is so funny. Like I like belly laughter. I was like, this is so good. And at that time, I'd already got the Game Mechanics channel together, and I was doing Battlefield videos with a friend of mine, just learning how to do video editing, just very basic stuff. And I'd watch people like Jack Frags and stuff, and I was like, I liked his style and what he was doing and whatnot. And then from that, I started recording the CS:GO videos, started editing them. Never got like any traction from it. Just was like, need to capture these moments, because, you know, there may come a time when we're not playing CS:GO together. We're not having this kind of fun together again. So I was like, it's kind of like, it's there in time. And like, I still go back and watch some of it, and like, I'm probably the only person watching it, but like, I laugh at it so much. Like, and then from that, because the Game Mechanics, the idea was the mechanics. We were a group. The Game Mechanics was a pun, terrible pun. Really hard to get found if you're called the Game Mechanics, by the way. It's a very over-searched term. So I realized like things were changing a bit, and like I was the only one doing any of the video recording or editing, and I was like, I wanted to try out Twitch. Started messing around with it, and just kind of ended up it being less about me recording what we were all doing, and as Twitch is streaming, it was more just about figuring out what that was. I think I saw Dr. Disrespect, and I just thought, what is that? I didn't even understand what was going on. I didn't want to be a Dr. Disrespect like copy or anything. I was just curious about it, why this was all so interesting to me. So that was like, I guess started streaming maybe 2015, maybe. Not seriously though, like once every like 6-7 months I did it. And then found a community, joined that. It was all streamers, and they were awesome, and just got sucked into it more and more. About a year in, changed the name of the channel to itsDefrag, just because the Game Mechanics was part of the old, and I wanted to be moving into the new. And and then I met Ramen. I don't know how I met you. You must have been playing Tarkov, presumably.
I rated Carve 'em Up.
You rated Carve 'em Up, that's right.
And then
and you were blown away by Carve 'em Up's raid response. I can't remember even what he did at the time, but I remember seeing it.
It was one of the classic. I don't even remember either, but it was the usual classic Carve 'em Up celebration.
So
you rated me kind of thing. I was blown away. And then then you followed the stream. I remember. Yeah,
I don't know. I don't know. You just seemed like a nice guy, so I followed you, because I don't usually
like. You were wrong.
I was wrong. I was so wrong. Guys, I need help. Help me.
We're doing this at gunpoint, by the way.
The knife on the table.
You better do this with me.
I had a great time. He's a great guy. Oh god. And the rest is history, as they say.
Can I ask you a really quick question? So you said in like 2012 you were doing like that's when you started like your whole music career, right? Like your whole, the whole.
That's when I started. Like, so I'd actually been writing. I've been writing music since say like 2004.
So that's what I was about to ask. What were you doing before, like 2012? What was?
Oh, I was in university. I was in England so I went to England in 2007, studied for 3 years, but I did like a 2-year music course before that in Belfast. So 5 years of like concentrated studying. And I went to England to do a course in jazz, popular and contemporary music.
Oh, and so you were already into music as a kid. You were already super into it.
Yeah, like I mean, but I didn't like pursue instruments like I played drums for the longest time and a bit of piano, but like it was never, I'm going to make a career out of this. I kind of thought I was going to be a graphic designer and a web designer.
So when you were in high school, you were thinking graphic designer, web designer into university kind of thing?
Just because I didn't know what to be thinking. I didn't really know what I wanted to do. And then I did a course on it. I had learned so much in my spare time that the course was like, have you ever heard the term like it was a Mickey Mouse course?
No.
So it's like a bit of a joke, like, you know, it's like, you know, oh, that's a Mickey Mouse course, like, you know,
oh, it's like
anybody could, you know, do it. It's like, you know, super basic, a bit of a joke. And I realized that about a year in. I was like, no. There was a music audition with the guy I work with now. He was like, I'm gonna do this course, like, you know, there's auditions open. I went in, did some drum stuff, and then 5 years down the line we came back to Belfast, and I worked for about 2 to 3 years out of my mum and dad's house, just in my bedroom.
What year was this?
So I got back from the Belfast 2010, but I've been working on this game called Dust and Elysian Tale since like 2009, 2008, and it came out in 2012. Music? Yeah, we did music and sound for it.
Music for the game.
Yeah, but it won awards of like Microsoft. There's this thing called Dream Build Play, and they were given like $50,000 to one developer and a publishing deal. And Dean, the guy that made Dust, won it like as we were like halfway through developing it. So it was like, oh, great, we could actually publish this game, because everything we'd worked on was like low key or non-paying or didn't get finished. So it was the first thing, one of the first big things that we did that got finished. And yeah, he did well off it. We did well off it, like really well. He was, I'd say he was able to buy his mom and dad a house.
That's good. Wow. Okay.
So like, you know, but at the same time, perspective, he developed the entire game himself, bar the audio. He did all of the artwork. It's all hand painted animation. Wow, so every frame he painted it. You know, like the old frame, like the old animation technique of like literally painting on a pane and then doing another one. He did like over 1,000 for the main character or something like that. That's just insane. The main character. So he did that over like maybe 5-6 years.
Is this game still out there?
Oh, it's out there. Yeah. It's got a, some people would say it's got a, people who are unsure would say it kind of looks like a furry game, but it's not. It's like,
furry game.
It's like anamorphic characters, but you know, like more in line with like Disney, you know, like Mickey Mouse has got a human body, like, so is he not furry?
I see.
I don't know.
Okay, cool.
But yeah, we did that, and that was like, that just skyrocketed our career at the time, and we were just like, right, this is what we're going to do, and we haven't really looked back since then. Just kept doing stuff. So
this, and when you were working like 2000, that's the same partner you have today?
Yeah, that was 2000. So me and him, we studied. Well, we're friends before all of this. Then we studied together from 2005 to 2007, and then we both moved in together in 2007 to 2010 over in England. And then when we got back, we were a business by then. Like we were like two sole traders, but like we were slowly becoming the business. So yeah,
that's super cool.
It's crazy, actually. That's like 15, technically like about 14, 15 years I've been working with him.
Yeah. Wow, that's good. How were you as a kid? Were you like video games already, sports? What were you like?
Video games.
Lots of video games.
Yeah, not as much sports. I remember one time, like maybe wrestling. I loved watching wrestling, but more for the theatrics of it. I just loved, you know, watching The Rock and D-Generation X and all that madness. Man. Like that was the era. I remember screaming like a psychopath on the settee and Saturday mornings as it was all going down. Well. I'm sure my mom wanted to get me checked or something, because I was just like losing my mind. I was like, yeah! So not so much sports, very much video games, and yeah, I Yeah, I did. Badminton was like as sporty as I ever got.
Yeah.
If there were sports on with football and stuff, I would end up in like the ball court throwing a ball.
Throwing a ball.
Yeah, throwing a ball.
Right.
But yeah, yeah, that was about it. Like, what about you? Like, where did we go back to? Where did you like find the point where you wanted to get into? Was it videography you got into first, or does it go further back than that? Did you?
Well, I grew up. I grew up in a pretty big family. I have 6 siblings. I mean, no, I have 5 siblings. We're 6 in total, and 5 of us are boys, so 1 girl. And being in a household of 5 boys, gamers, and I grew up playing video games and watching a lot of sports. Well, basketball, to be specific.
Yeah.
Those are 2 huge things in my family because I have a brother who's a really good basketball player. Varsity, usual,
Nice.
jock kind of brother.
Awesome.
And then a couple of my older brothers, the older ones, they're all into like basketball and video games. But when they do play video games, it's more of like sports games or RPGs.
Right.
And so when I grew up in the 90s, so when I have very fond early memories of being 4 or 3 years old, like between 3 to 5 years old, growing up in a household of Super Nintendo. At that time, I vaguely remember putting my hands on Street Fighter 2, and that's why I have a Street Fighter 2 cap. By the way, sometimes those of you who watch my stream, you guys see me wear it at times. That was a Christmas gift from one of my brothers because back then in like 95, 96, I don't even remember when it was, but I remember like, let me play. I'm the youngest of 6 siblings, guys. So, like, let me play with
you were ignored.
Game. Yeah. And they're like, all right, give them the controller. And I just like mash buttons and they'd be like, okay, you're done. You're good. Get out of here. But so I grew up, in the SNES era. And then this whole gaming thing just kind of carried on to grade school, high school. In grade school, I was super into Counter-Strike. Like, I don't know, how were internet cafes back in the early 2000s and where you're from?
Oh, like we had them
LAN
for
shops and
sure.
stuff.
We did have them, and like I remember we went to I think we had maybe 2, possibly 3, but they're all gone now. I think. Well, in Belfast, they're all gone, and we went to like one where you could stay all night long, and one of the guys was like an ex like CS:GO pro player. Like,
wow, okay, hardcore.
It was awesome. Yeah, they were great.
Yeah,
we had a lot of fun in those, for sure.
Yeah, so basically, early 2000s, I think the biggest thing for me is Counter-Strike beta until like 1.5 ish.
Yeah,
and that was a huge era for the Philippines. In the Philippines, so first of all, if you guys don't know me, I am from the Philippines, by the way. And back then there were computer shops, internet cafes in every corner. And at that time, we didn't have a computer to play Counter-Strike on. That was expensive. We had when Counter-Strike was out, I had a PlayStation 1 with the family, but never really got to play Counter-Strike unless we're in an internet cafe. So that was a bunch of my grade school life was like, especially on a Friday, I would go with my brother, one of my brothers. We'd go all the way to an internet cafe with his friends and we just land it up. Oh, dude, like we'd play hours, like till the shop closes. And it was so huge in the Philippines. Like lines were huge. You'd wait. You'd be willing to wait for you to get a spot. Counter-Strike days, and then ever since then, like I was so addicted to Counter-Strike. I remember the thought of like when my brother tells me we're gonna play Counter-Strike that day, I'm like, oh, we're gonna play Counter-Strike. So I can't wait. Like from school, like I can't wait to get off. We play some Counter-Strike with the friends and stuff. And that was like the first time I'd say, or that as a kid, I'm like, imagine playing Counter-Strike for the rest of your life. Like, is that even possible? Like, is that how do you? It's like, can you do this? Like, when you have so much fun in the video game as a kid, it's like you don't want it to end, and you feel like why do I have to go to school, man?
Yeah.
Like, why do I just want to play
I used
games.
to like whenever I played that reasoning there, and then like there's 2 things. So one was I would like get up if I was playing a game I really liked. I would get up extra early, so I get up at like 5 in the morning, and I'm like, right, that's 2 extra hours I've got to play this game before I have to get into my uniform and have stupid breakfast and go to stupid school. And then the other thing was at one of the LAN cafes we went to, the guy I was talking about was like an ex CS player, CS pro player. He wasn't a CS:GO. This is forever back. This is like 1.6 or whatever. And I was like, he was like, yeah, I'm like someone was like, yeah, he's an ex CS pro player. I was like, X? I was like, why would you stop?
Why would you stop?
Why would you ever
You
stop?
idiot, dude.
You made it.
Yeah, those thoughts would go, and especially I remember, like, to be very specific with those kind of thoughts. I remember, like, so you'd line up in an internet cafe, super long lines, man, waiting times, and you finally get your computer. You sit down, and you know that you paid for, like, let's say like 4 hours. Even like you'd go like open times, what we called it here. I don't know what you guys call it out there, but open times, like put it on a tab kind of thing.
Yeah.
Or you just keep playing and then just bill me after.
Yeah.
And I remember when you get your first game in, you're like, yes, the day is so young. I got all day to play. It's that thought, like, oh, I can play all day, man. This is so good. And then you kind of get sad towards that, like, oh no, like you gotta go home soon. Mom's gonna get mad. Yeah, the dread to go home. And
the dread had so many levels as well. It was like the dread of it's coming to an end, and also I've stayed way too long.
Yeah, and like you're out of money too as a kid.
It's like the third dread, the financial dread. Oh god.
Yeah, so I remember those thoughts, and then whatever. That's I'm sure a lot of you guys as gamers as well felt that. But then high school came. A huge part of high school was Call of Duty Modern Warfare 1. I was playing with a clan. We have competitive matches, and then I remember playing over like 3,000-4,000 hours of Battlefield 2 in high school as well.
Yes.
I was a complete gamer. I would go out, but I love playing video games.
Yeah,
like
it's always in the back of your mind.
It's just it's such a huge part of my life. And I remember before my parents specifically would be. Like, I vaguely remember a moment where my parents were talking with, we were at a dinner table, and they're saying about how they're talking to each other, like mom and dad, and they're saying like, like the son of this person, super antisocial, has no social skills. And they keep like the parents of that person where they're friends with basically were saying like they were complaining to my parents about how, oh man, my kid doesn't really socialize and stuff. It's the video games, man. It's the video games. They were all that usual talk. It's the video games. Yeah. So they were like talking about it over dinner. Yeah, so talk about it over dinner and like trying to like I guess pass the message to us like if you play video games too much, you might have weird EQ or something. My
mom like sliding the Bible across the floor. Then, oh, Chris, did you drop that Bible? It's not mine. So
it's not mine.
God damn it, Mom.
But yeah. And then, as someone when I was in high school, the one thing I wanted to do for real was I wanted to get into filmmaking. I wanted to be a filmmaker. I wanted to make movies. That was the dream. And when I was in high school, there were two big influences for me. Which was one, which most of you probably know, is Freddie Wong. Freddie Wong, when YouTube first came out.
Yes.
And even like people like Kev Jumba, like the super OGs, but more of Freddie Wong, who made shorts on YouTube. I'm sure most of you guys know him. And number two was Jason Magbanwa. Jason Magbanwa is a Filipino wedding videographer, and he was technically the pioneer of same-day edits in weddings. Do you guys have same-day edits out there?
Same-day edits?
Is that not a thing? So
what is it?
So basically, it's your full cinematic wedding video shown at the reception. The same day edit. Literally.
Yeah. No, I mean I know what you're talking about, but like I've never been to a wedding that's done that. There's usually 6 weeks later edits in the post.
so they do two videos nowadays, at least in the Philippines, and I'm sure somewhere out there as well. It's you get the same day edit, you pay for the same day edit and the full highlight video, which is like 10-15 minutes. Same day edit's about like 4 minutes, 5 minutes. It's like a YouTube video. Super cinematic, it's always so good. And Jason Magbanwa was one of those creators in the Philippines that started that, and he would upload on Vimeo, I remember, and I just like spend days watching it. Like I would want to do this one day. And movies like all the Nolan movies. One of the Nolan movies that stuck to me forever as a kid in high school was Memento. Have you seen Memento?
Memento, I've heard of it. What was the plot behind it? I can't remember. I feel like I have seen it.
Well, just to spoil it already for everyone, spoiler alert, by the way. It's a movie that was like they tell the time. It's a guy who has short-term memory loss. Is it short-term memory loss? Yeah, short-term memory loss. And the movie is told in reverse.
I think I have seen that.
Yeah.
Oh my god.
So basically it's like it gives a really good perspective of what it's like to have short-term memory loss kind of thing.
Yeah, does he like leave like notes everywhere for himself?
Yeah, it's
yes,
what do you call
I was
that?
watching it recently.
What's what do you call the picture that comes out of the camera immediately?
Oh yes,
Polaroid.
And he puts like he has like a handler or whatever, and he puts his name on it and stuff.
Yeah. And
yes.
He has tattoos as well of notes. So that was one of my earliest, because my brother loved that. One of my older brothers, super into film and movies, and he was watching it. My eldest brother was always the one who would like get DVDs and be like, I got a new movie, guys. You guys got to watch this. And Memento's one of those. I'm like, I was so blown away as a kid. I was like, what? It's in reverse? There's no way. How do you think of that? Yeah. So ever since moments like that, I always wanted to be a videographer. So when I was in high school, my parents wanted me to be a doctor or a lawyer, usual, and I was like, no, I almost did. I was thinking of, I almost did, but I had a talk with one of my brothers, and they told me like, you know what, you don't have to kind of like do what they want, just do what you want.
Yeah.
He gave me that talk, and I was like, you know what, you're right. So I talked to my parents, told them that I want to get into videography, or like I didn't. At that time, I didn't think videography even existed. I mean, as a word, or maybe it wasn't mainstream yet, kind of thing. But I remember telling them I want to do videos. I want to make movies. I remember that was kind of something I said that came out of my mouth. I want to make movies. I want to work in like the indie film industry. Also, short, studied multimedia arts in college, and then straight off of college, when I was like junior year, like my second, third year of college, started doing freelance video work. I wanted to build a portfolio. So when I graduate, I get a portfolio. And so I started, just like you, once I started doing it, I just kept going.
Yeah.
And then to cut the longer story short again, my career kind of bloomed in early 2016, late 2015, when one of her videos went viral for a DJ friend. So back in college, I used to DJ, like club DJ, as like kind of pocket money. It's like a part-time thing for me.
Yes.
Yeah, I did. So I have turntables here that I would want to set up in the stream soon.
Oh my god, DJ Ramen.
Yeah, so,
yes.
DJ. I always thought about using DJ Ram, but I'll just DJ VCab.
Yeah.
That's what it was.
That's good.
So
love it.
So I was doing that, and there was a fellow DJ named Carlo Attendido. Today he is one of the best turntablists in the world. He won third place in the World DJ Championships, the Red Bull World DJ Championship in 2014. I met him through club DJing, we're friends, and then when he came home from his third place win, which happened in Azerbaijan, which is a country I believe in the middle. I don't want to say where. I might fuck it up.
It's in the world.
But I just Google it. Yeah, it's somewhere there.
Google Earth. He
came home and he messaged me. He's like, "Hey man, you do videos, right?" And I was like, "Yeah, what about?" And he goes, I want you to edit one of my winning video thing, like his winning routine rather. Can we edit and make a video for YouTube? I was like, yeah, sure. Then when we did the edit side by side in his house, after the edit, I was like, it was just a quick edit, and I was like, do you want to do like DJ videos? I was like, I'll do your videos, like you do your stuff, like your turntablism stuff, and he's really, really good, and I'll shoot your stuff, I'll make you a video. He's like, yeah, let's do it, game. And so we did a lot. We kept doing it, like we would do like twice a month kind of thing for his YouTube channel that had barely any subscribers at that time and all that. And then in 2016 he had I think it's early 2016, this was probably about like almost half a year of doing it already. If no one's watching the videos, it's their friends watching it. He made a Chainsmokers routine, a whole remix kind of thing, live remix with the turntables and like super crazy stuff. And then lo and behold, Chainsmokers picked it up. They posted that video on their page, their Facebook page, Chainsmokers Facebook page. Hit about, I think today it stands at like 1.3 million whatever views.
Wow.
And then that's what started my video career. Like that's when people started asking like, who is he? Because they saw Carlo's the DJ. Who's your videographer friend? He recommended me to people. Eventually led to Red Bull. I started working with Red Bull. If that didn't happen, I would work for Red Bull. I started working with That's Some Store. That's Some Store is one of the biggest retail companies here in the Philippines. Just big names, and it worked out. And then it was a good life. It was paying well. Life was good.
Yeah.
but it came to a point where I I tell the story a lot. Every time people ask what was the actual turning point into streaming, it was in late 2016 or mid 2016. During the hype of this all, Red Bull hired me to do a video for OG, like the Dota 2 team. OG. They're currently Red Bull OG right now. At that time, they weren't signed by Red Bull yet. They were being wooed by Red Bull. And I was hired as their official videographer for 8 straight days. And literally just being around them for 8 days was just the most wildly inspiring thing ever. Like I came into the project not knowing much about MOBAs, like in general. I don't play MOBAs. I play shooters. I was like, hey, I'll do it, and then just being around them, like seeing how they live, literally. I mean, how they just bring themselves about, how they're treated and everything, how respected they are. I'm like, oh my goodness, this is crazy. The industry is super huge. Listening to, like, we got to interview them, of course, for the project, and hearing all their answers about how it's not about the money anymore. It's all about the pride of competitive and passion for gaming. La la la. I was like, damn, dude, these guys like living the dream, man. And that's a turning point for me. That was it. And then 2017 started streaming on Twitch, like very casually. Like how we all start. It's like once every so often when I have time, or I didn't even tell anyone I was streaming. I was shy, like don't tell anyone I was live on Twitch or something. So it started there. But that's pretty much like the turning point for me. That's when
That's really nice, actually. I mean, you've said stuff about it before, but like thinking about like your turning point it was a positive experience. You know what I mean? Like you were already in something. You were being creative, and you found something. It wasn't even like grass is greener on the other side. Like where you were was good, but you find something that was just like, sparkly and like inspiring and exciting, and it's like renewed, like kind of
it
like
just hit me.
That feeling you get. That one when you go to sleep and you can't sleep because you're thinking about it.
Like, that's literally what it was to me.
The feeling of knowing you're going to be playing Counter-Strike as a kid later on that day. That feeling, like it's as simple as that.
That's
like,
exactly why. Thank you for mentioning that. So exactly why I mentioned that. I want to bring that back. Be like, it would still always be there in the back of your mind. Like, what if you play video games for the rest of your life? It's always lingering as a kid. Until you grew up and stuff. But I think you make a really good point about like how things were okay as a videographer. It surprised a lot of people, especially people who like my loved ones, in the sense like family, my parents. Alex, who's my current girlfriend, and she was also surprised at the start. She didn't know anything about it. She was so confused, like what's happening here? It doesn't really understand anything. And at that time, but now she's like the most supportive woman ever. It's crazy. I don't deserve it. She's too supportive. And it's just like, even like people like mentors, my mentors in videography they're kind of like this. They weren't angry, they're disappointed. They're like, why? Like, what are you doing?
They probably felt they were like losing one from the team, but I mean,
true. It was, I still get that with people. Like literally today I had a conversation with a friend, and he was like, I could get you for a project. I'm like, I'm doing video. I'm doing streaming. It's been 3 years, man. Like, come on, man. He's like, no, but it's kind of a thing. Big money, like, And he was like, are you sure? Like, come on. Like, it's just, you don't want to waste this opportunity. I'm like, I'm done. Like, this is it for me. Like, streaming, I'm on, I just want to do this. This is the dream. I want to do it.
It must feel good as well, though, to be able to, because it was a risk, like, but I mean, like, so you went from a secure, industry for you where people knew about you, people knew what you could do. You had, as you say, like, your career had like hit that point, it had bloomed, like, work was coming. You weren't presumably you weren't chasing work as much as it was probably coming to you, which is a great feeling. But then it must have been like,
honestly, that was one of the signs for me as well, that I wasn't chasing the work. That I was just waiting. That I was like, this is not for me. That's one of the biggest things that made me realize that, why am I not looking for work? I'm not looking for projects. I'm just like hanging around. Oh, he asked me to do a video. Let's do that. It's not like streaming. We're streaming every single day. I want to get better at it. I want to be like, dude, I want to be the best. I just want to do everything I can. With videography, it was kind of like coasting at some point, and that's when it hit me as like, I'm not chasing anything. I'm not trying to grow this to the full potential. But with gaming, I'm just like, I'm not losing. I ain't losing.
No.
I'm winning this.
Yeah. And you're always thinking, it's like you went from like, a reactive career to like, a proactive career where like
that's such a good point. Yeah.
You want to like, you were done. For you were done. You could have kept growing, but you had like grown to the size that you wanted to in videography.
Yeah.
And then you looked at streaming and it was just this, a wee sapling at that point. And you're just like, what do I do with this? Like, how do I make this bigger and stronger? And the more you put into it, the more you discover, different ideas, gimmicks, events, community-based stuff. Like there's literally, you open a door and there's 5 more doors. And you've just got it. You're like, you just have to try them all, and that's why streaming and content creation is so interesting. And I know that's definitely why you like sort of, I know how you feel about it. I mean to say it's like you're not reactive anymore. You're hungry for it,
Yes. And that's a huge, I think it could have not been said any better than how you said it. Now that you're saying it, I look back, it's like definitely, reactive in a way that I'm just like, coasting, whatever's available, I'll do it. But it just hit me so hard, and I don't regret I think one of the biggest things as well is that I don't regret my decision, and I've never been so like secure in a way of like who I am in my life ever since I started gaming. And I thought it would be the opposite when I was transitioning. I'd be like, oh no, people are gonna be like, oh, a gamer, well, you're okay, you're a streamer, huh?
Yeah.
I would always think that would be the way, and I wouldn't know how to accept it. And I just kept doing it. I was like, wait a minute, I feel comfortable here. Like this is I feel, one thing I told Alex was that if there's one thing I told her that made her believe that I wanted to do it, was that in videography, I didn't feel like I was myself. I felt like I had to put up some sort of image or like some sort of, I'm an artist. I'm a video. I'm as creative as you guys. Like I felt like I had to like keep up with the industry because there was so much good competition. Everything, everyone was so good, and I didn't feel like I belonged. But with gaming, when I see better competition or better streamers, I aspire to be to be as good as they are. And with videography, it was more of, I was like, I don't think I belong here. And then it was first time ever with gaming, where I feel so good, and I feel like it's also kind of like spread beyond just gaming, like spread it into my life. I feel a lot more myself. With it, feel more secure, feel more confident with everything. Yeah, comfortable. It's just the best decision I've ever made, and I don't regret at all.
That's great. I mean, it's good. It's good for you. Like when you're able to say that, and when you're able to, be offered work that is, like him saying, that guy saying, you don't want to pass this opportunity up, and you're like, I do. It's not. It's it's an opportunity for someone who wants it, and I don't want it, and I don't have to take it. That's a good feeling. You can look around at streaming and be like, you're in a more secure position. You can move forward, and keep growing. So that's good. That's a good feeling.
Yeah. It is. It really just, it started growing. It kept growing and growing. At the start, it was, I wouldn't let go of videography yet. I was just like, okay. I didn't know yet. I don't know much, but the moment like my brain started getting a lot more confident with what I do, and I started, like we said, rejecting projects and being self-aware that okay, okay, this is it. Videography, I'm sorry, I loved you, but
I mean, it's always going to be there, if even it's actually in a way a win for your love of videography as well, because you don't look at it now as a career, and you may even go back to it. And you probably, you do go back to it when you're working on your videos or whatever you're doing. You are, in a way, going back to it and drawing references from stuff. And that's all based around your experience. But now it's like you're using all that experience from your previous job to pump energy into your current passion. And because you love videography, there was a point where it wasn't a job. It was just you were just growing in it and you're figuring it out.
Yeah.
You've got that again in a way, you know, it's always there. You
True.
can go and just
Yeah.
do videography because you feel like doing it, you know, and it's not like,
Yeah.
okay, I've got this client. It's, oh, I've got an idea. Oh, I'm good at
Yeah.
videography. You go and do it, you know?
And the best part is for me in a way, you know. It's like,
Yeah,
it's,
well, that's it.
I think that was the most satisfying thing too. Is like I'm finally working with my like in my own terms kind of thing.
Mhm.
And that was the best part.
Yeah.
But if there's one thing I want to segue to, it's
Do it.
if there's one thing that helped me, like aside from the whole videography thing, this is something that I super believe in, and it's this thing that you gotta surround yourself with people who are way better than you at things, because I would never really figure things out, and not this guy here.
No, like, not this.
No,
other.
literally, defrag helped me step up things. You know, I'm still learning things every day, like things I never even knew like existed, stuff like that. Let's get to how we met, Def. Like, how did this all start?
The love story of a lifetime. Disney keep calling me about this story. I'm like, look, we don't know how it ends yet. It could end terribly.
We can't talk about it yet.
Yeah,
it's not over.
You know, there's a trilogy deal on the table, but you know, how we met. Yeah. Well.
Yeah. So like we mentioned earlier, I clearly remember I first played Tarkov in June of 2018, and then the first month I was playing, I was trying to raid as many different streamers as I could to get to know people in the community. And lo and behold, one of them was you, Carve 'em Up. Hopefully you're watching this or listening to this. You better be.
He hasn't made it this far. He's turned off already.
Yeah. He hasn't made it this far.
That's fair enough.
So I raided Carve 'em Up. It was like, I remember the raid. We were going through the browse channel, and I was like, "Who do you raid, chat?" And then my chat, I forgot who it was, but I was like, "Raid that guy. He's wearing a suit." I remember it was a red suit. It was a red suit. That's what I remember. And we raided Carve 'em Up, and then that's where I met Def. He was part of he's part of Carve 'em Up's community.
And you, I don't know why I followed you really. I still don't know why, but I went into your channel and like, I don't know what it was. Cause like at the time I had no interest in like, Escape from Tarkov. Like, and actually like for the first few months of watching you, like I was like, I don't like this game. Like, I don't know why I don't like it. It's just, it was the stakes were so high. And like, I was like, at that point, like everything for me was like, you know, I was coming from like high pace, like you did. You came from PUBG into Tarkov, but you immediately were like, you grabbed it, you understood Tarkov, and you're like, actually, I need this. This is kind of the same thing with, you know, videography and the streaming. You like, you were doing something you enjoy, but then you just find the next level, and you're like, no, wait, this is needing to happen. But like, for a while, I was just like, I just couldn't get it. And then I don't know. I was thinking about Tarkov whenever I was not watching your streams. I was like, it's just because I'm watching that guy Ramen like way too often. And then I was just, I don't know. It's just the pairing is your attitude towards it. And then, I don't know. I feel like if I had watched another streamer like playing Tarkov as much as you played it, I wouldn't have the interest, the intrigue for it that I do now. Like I mean, I have not played Tarkov in probably about 7 months. Like I haven't played a game in about a year. Like it's just been a year-ish. Like, you know, I get close. I live vicariously through like, you like watching you play and enjoy these games and going through these tasks and doing these squads and all these, you know, these firefights, and like that there is like my gaming like therapy that I need to get back for myself at some point. Like, but it's like as close as I can like feel it. You know what it is as well? It's like your enjoyment of just games in general, but definitely Tarkov like on a high level is like reminds me of whenever I was playing Battlefield and CS Go when I was first making the early game mechanics videos. And the reason I made those videos was because we were having so much fun, like just like belly laughter at just what was happening in the game. But now, like, I watching you, like, you have fun playing the game, but like you've also got chat just being absolute maniacs, like, and everyone, it just all just seems to be, it's just nice. It's just a nice community, and it's like you never forced any of it, you know. It's like, so I don't there's no like secret sauce to like building a great channel, a great community, and I, you know, if there was, everyone would be buying it. But it's like it just kind of turns up one day. I don't know. It's very organic, you know. And when you watch your channel, it's like, it is nice. It's like it's a comfort, you know. Lots of regular faces and all that, and I think as well, because the times that you were streaming, I work like 9 to 5, just as most of the time, just as a matter of like discipline, because we used to just like, and I'm sure, you know, when you first did self-employed work, you were like, I'm just
all over the place.
I don't have a 9 to 5. I just work until I can't be awake anymore. And we used to do that. And like, even weekends weren't like it was just, there was never a stopping point. So we did go, actually, let's cut off weekends and let's, you know, have a cutoff point at around 5 in the day. You know, I mean, obviously, you know, if other people are working on Monday to Friday, 9 to 5, they'll be glad to get out of that. But sometimes when you're in an idea or you're writing a song or something, you have to like, you know, like some people will follow the idea through, but you do have to have those cutoff points. So I had this like routine. I have this routine, and like I have my early morning routine where I'm doing a lot of like sort of setup for the day and stuff. And you're pretty much like, you're on until about 2 p.m. my time, from about 9 a.m. And it's just, I just
fit.
No one else gets a leg in, like, really, like that's the ramen slot now. Like it's it's the ramen. No one else gets it. Sometimes like I'll like, you know, nip around other people just to say hello, but majority of the time I'm, you know, chilling. And you're, you know, as well as another thing, like and I'm sure, like, you know, for you, like not working in audio that much, whenever you're working on visual stuff or whatever, you probably either have music on to like, you know, fill the ambience, or you're watching listening to a podcast or the radio or whatever in the background. So that is kind of like where, like whenever I'm listening to you, like, you know, I am watching you as well, like, but like it's very much an ambience, and like it's like having the radio on. It's like, you know, having your regular show, you know. And I just haven't found a better alternative. So
awesome. No one's streaming my side.
And we're leaving it at that.
For those listening to this podcast or watching it, before you guys like, these guys are just stroking each other. I hate this podcast. Like, we're going somewhere with this, okay? Yeah, we are stroking each other, but we kind of want to get to the reason why we're talking about like where we're from, like how we started and everything. We really want to get to a point where it's like we want to tell you guys why we started this podcast. So after Deef and I met, you know, 2018, he hopped on my stream from Carver Ups community, and we got to know each other more. I would drop by Carver Ups community, and DeFrag would be there. I was like, and then I met more of Carver Ups community, DeFrag community. It was just like a small group that started connecting, and everyone just started, you know, interconnecting. This guy knew that guy, and it was just these common faces and names everywhere. And then as time goes, you know, I keep streaming. DeFrag would slip it under the table, like, hey man, I got this new effect. You know, it's a little bit, it's like he was like Fence and Tarkov, just in the hoodie in the corner. Like, I got some new effects for you. No, but he would be so generous with knowledge and information about, you know, these things that he's maybe working on or experimenting with, you know, all these things that I guess my stream was somewhat practice for you as well in some ways.
Yeah, like not only was I living like vicariously through your love of games, I was like, I was also living through your stream. I was like, I'll just make Ramen stream like your stream, my stream, my laboratory for experiments.
That's a meme right now. As people keep telling me, just get off Ramen, just pass your stream key to Deef. It's his stream now. True enough, a lot of the stuff that we do on stream now that you guys have seen, whether it's the songs, whatever transitions, whatever ideas, it's mostly from like these seeds of ideas that Deef would be like, oh, I got an idea. Random day, he him like, what if? Like example is this back camera, which I think you guys see behind me right there.
You can actually, I think you can show that because you're.
I can actually. This back camera. So this back camera, people always ask how did it come to be, and basically, I was telling Chad about Chad. I should get a second camera because why not? I don't know. And DFrag was like, "How about like a camera right behind you?" I'm like, "Why?" And he sent me. So I remember that day. He sent me some samples. I got a follow. Nice. Thanks for the follow, by the way.
Thanks
for the honor. 88. Yeah, thanks.
Yeah. I'm a pro here. I've got no alerts on. Just throwing that out there.
I'm leaving the alerts on throughout the stream, throughout this podcast. Sorry, guys. So if you guys get follow, sub to the stream, by the way, you might see it on the podcast. No, but where was I before that rude follow?
Talking about the backseat cam.
Yeah, the backseat cam, and then Deep was like, yeah, that's gonna stay on. That's gonna be a highlight.
Yeah,
yeah. So Deep brought it up. It's like do a backseat cam, and we just did it, and everything else compounded. Do this, do that on your stream. I was like, yeah, that's a good idea. And like to like kind of like make the long story short, as I always say. Time went on. We just started collaborating with different things, and Deep kept helping me with so much, from songs to transitions and whatever. And then fast forward to today. I brought it up with Deep. I was like, I want to start a podcast, and the reason why I wanted to start a podcast was I feel like there was a lot more I could share. There's a lot more things I would like to share, but that don't fit in gaming streams, because we're playing Tarkov and or whatever game we're playing, and sometimes we have our moments of like chit-chatting, but it only lasts like 20 minutes on stream, and sometimes I feel like I want a dedicated place for like these types of things that I feel like we could share as creators. And I told Deef this, is that in my life, in real life, I have no one to talk to in terms of like content or creation, streaming, content creation, whatever. Like I talked to my girlfriend about it, but she gets it to a certain extent, but can't relate to it as much. And none of my family members do. I don't have anyone else out here that can really relate to me. And I felt like I needed like some sort of creative dump, or a creative dump in terms of like, or creative or thought
toilet
dump, I guess. Yeah, toilet for it. And I asked if he was down to do it with me. And he was like, I'm super down. And we started working on it. From the moment we talked about it, we started working on it. We started making notes and everything. And we kept going with it. And that's what we kind of want this to be, guys, is that first, with this whole episode, I want you guys to get to know who we are, why we're doing it, just so you guys kind of know the direction of where we're going with this in the future. This won't be like I was telling people about this in chat and, in passing, and they would ask, oh, is it going to be like a streaming podcast, like something about content creation? I said, it doesn't have to be.
Yeah.
It can be anything. But it can be the main thing, because that's all I know nowadays. But we want this to be just a conversation. Maybe we'll have guests in the future. Whoever it doesn't have to be a streamer again. It could be like I was telling Beef, like I know this guy. Yeah, your mom. I know this guy in the Philippines who's a really great fitness I would say influencer. He's a trainer. He's a professional trainer, and he's really, really good, and he knows his stuff. He's been posting a lot of content on Instagram. Someone I'd like to have on in the future, so he can share information with us and with you guys. And just want to make it like something. It's like a conversation between creators, and like how to improve our lifestyles, I guess. How how we live. I feel like it's a way for me as well to kind of get information from you, Deef, and from anyone within the community that listens to this, and everyone we talk to kind of how to build this content creation life where we just do this.
Just figure it out. We're gonna figure it out one podcast
I feel like,
at a time.
You know what? That's a good point. What Deep said right there is that I think that's one thing a lot of creators don't have. I know there are a lot of people who have groups of, especially like the bigger creators, who get to talk to each other a lot, and they're like groups of friends, people who have been doing this for a very long time. They have their own like groups of friends that they can relate to. For me personally, I've only been streaming for 3 years, compared to most who've been streaming for almost a decade at this point, and I need that kind of channel.
Yeah,
I guess.
I feel the same, for sure. Ideas. Like, I mean, I don't really. I mean, apart from maybe like, I mean, if I was thinking of people in Belfast who I would talk to about this stuff, there are a few, but not nobody who's doing what we're doing, really.
Yeah.
One particular person who I've yet to meet, even though we live in the same city. We've talked about going out for a drink. Maybe I'll even have him on this at some point. You remember Stealth CT? Maybe you met him before. Yeah. He's a smart, very creative guy. Like, I mean, me and him spitball a lot of ideas as well. And like, even over Christmas, like, I mean, a lot of his stuff goes like unnoticed because like, I don't know. It's just one of those injustices. But he is like brilliant with like stream, like ideas, like tricks, creative ways of approaching stuff. Like, I'll show you some of his stuff at some point. Just the stream he did. I was watching one of his old streams. He did a Christmas this morning, and he was showing how to take a webcam against a green screen, and basically the way he animated it. So I made him this like scene transition. He plays a lot of, well, he used to play a lot of Splatoon 2, and he asked me to make him a Splatoon themed animation. And I was going to find it there, but I've no idea. So he asked me to make him this scene transition. And in the transition, like all this, like, you know what Splatoon's like? It's all splatter and paint. It goes all over the screen. It's very cartoony and stuff. So I like animated a lot of like fake kind of paint stuff. And it all splatters on the screen and then like washes off. So he like took the last bit where it washes off and he like angled it. And if you can imagine like me getting like covered in paint right now, and then as all the paint drips down, I've disappeared. So he like, that sounds mad, doesn't it? Like, but he like figured out, he showed it to me, but he didn't show me how he did it. So he just showed me like a quick, like a kind of example of it over Christmas, or maybe it was November. And I remember looking at it and I was like, how did you do that? And then he just didn't like get back. He didn't tell me. He didn't like keep it from me, but like he was busy. Yeah. Like I was like, challenge accepted. So I like figured out how to do it. And then I was watching him. He just showed everyone how to put it all together. And I was like, that is literally like, he understands why I do those tutorials, is that nobody, so it's not a shot at anybody, but nobody is like, if someone does like something on their stream, you can't be like, oh, you're stealing that from this guy. It's like, you know, if we want to be that picky, we can go, oh, you've got a webcam on your stream, so you're just like copying this guy's got a webcam on his stream. You know, it's like, if a tool has been made or a technique is out there, if you paint your house blue and someone across the street paints their house blue, they don't have copyright to the color blue or paint on a house. You know, it's like, it's a tool, it's something that's out there. And for an industry that is, you know, that success and community go hand in hand, for that to be, you know, a matter of fact in the streaming and content creation industry, you can't be precious about, you know, a trick that you do on your stream. If that is if those are the most, you know, integral parts of your stream, then you need to grow more on your stream. Do you know what I mean? Like, 100%. It's like, don't get rid of them, you know, keep them, embrace them, tweak them or whatever. Like, but you know, kind of basically embrace other people, you know, learning these things, you know, like I learned how to do that thing, that goo thing that Stealth did just from him showing a picture to me. He didn't tell me anything about it. I was just like, I'm going to figure this out. I don't know what the hell I'm going to do when I'm going to figure this out. And it drove me crazy. And like, I should have thanked him, because like, it was that kind of like that feeling that you had whenever you were talking to the Dota guys, where I was just like, what is this? Like, what am I? And especially you showed it to him, and I was like, I was at a point as well where I was like, I feel like there's nothing new or interesting being done in terms of like, you know, visual like trickery and stuff like that in streaming industry. sure, you can do it all in content creation and, you know, like in post, but like to do stuff like that live is so, I don't think people realize how exciting that is, because it's really difficult to do a lot of the time, because the infrastructure is just not set up to like make that stuff accessible or easy. So like him showing me that, I was just like felt the sparks in my brain, like
that was
crazy.
your light bulb moment.
Yeah, like for sure. So like, you know, like the reason all those tutorials that I started doing them was like even further back when I was doing like the time travel stuff on my stream when I was streaming.
Yeah, I remember that.
And I had like Gertie come in and he would like send me to like the hand-drawn dimension where I was
that was so good.
That was like a card or a crayon version of me. And like he'd misspelt, like he'd like tried to do my background, but he like accidentally wrote defrag instead of defrag, and he like scribbled out the E and put an A. And I was like, why did you know how to spell my name, you idiot?
Yeah.
And like stuff like that. And then like the Cowboy Bebop raid thing that I did, which was like, you know, 80 scenes, like all live going on. People are like, is this live? It's like, why not just record it? It's like, because you can do it live. Like, I just recreated the Cowboy Bebop intro and I'm in it instead of Cowboy Bebop, you know, as I am right now. And I remember people coming in. There was one guy and his name was Riak. I haven't seen him in a long time, but like he was like, I was like recreating your raid scene. I was like, right, cool, great. You know, I was like, you know, because he was just, it's like, you know, when you see a technique, you know, that you want to learn, you can A, follow a tutorial on how to do that technique, or B, you know, use like deduction and emulation to kind of break it down and almost replicate it to see the steps. Do you know what I mean? Like, you know, if you can deconstruct a painting and rebuild it back up yourself, you can understand how somebody has done something, and then you have those tools to go and do something else that, you know, wouldn't be the Cowboy Bebop raid intro. It would be, you know, something else. But if you knew how to do it, you know, you've learned that from emulating something else. You know, it's not, you're not copying, you're not stealing, because it's not my, I mean, I've taken it from Cowboy Bebop, you know, I've deconstructed their idea and then used it. You know, I didn't do anything extra to it. It's literally Cowboy Bebop, just broken down into bits.
Yeah, seeing you and like the first time I met Carve 'em Up, and then the first time I also saw your stream, which was later on after Carve 'em Up. That's when I was like, that's what blew my mind. Because before, like when I started streaming, or you know, when I was streaming before I met you guys, I was, you know, it was just stream, just show up and do your thing and play video games and have fun.
That's it.
And then I met Carve 'em Up. And then I saw his raid. I was like, what is this? This is next level stuff. And I would probably say, before Carve 'em Up, the one of the wildest things I've seen in terms of live OBS stuff was Addy Misk. Do you know Addy Misk?
Addy Misk?
He was
yeah, I think I remember that.
He does these dances. He calls it the I forgot the name, but
has he got like pink hair?
Yeah, it's him. Addy Misk.
He plays Grand Theft Auto. He does like a voice and stuff. Yeah. He does like Saul voice from Better Call Saul. I think he's like his character. Yeah. Anyway, carry on.
He's a really amazing content creator. And I remember when I was still starting out, like way early days of PUBG, I was someone linked a video in chat. It was like, oh, check this out. At that time, Summit 1G hosted Addy Misk. And he did the whole raid dance, everything.
I think
I'm so sorry, I forgot what it was called. I'm such an idiot. I hate that I don't remember what it's called, the dance.
I do remember that particular video though.
Yeah, he did that whole dance, and I was watching. I was like, oh my god, it's amazing. And then one of my mods at that time went to Addy Misk's stream, and he was like, hey man, Ramenstyle, Ramenstyle, this guy is a huge fan of yours stuff. And Addy Misk went on my stream while I was live. He followed and he was like, hey man, he got to know me. He was super nice. And then he asked if I wanted to duo with him in PUBG. And I was like, oh, of course, I would love to play duo with PUBG. So he played. He's super nice, man. Like he was one of my first ever huge inspirations in like growing the stream, because he still has a really amazing community. He's an amazing content creator. He does all those dances that you saw, that you remember.
Yeah.
And no, he was the first ever. And then I met Carve Him Up. And the first time I saw Carve Him Up, I was like, oh, this is like what Addy Musk is doing too. It's like all these buttons that do this and that. It's like super cool. Yeah. And then I met you. And then when I saw Addy Musk stuff, I always felt like, that's another level. I can't do that, man. And then I saw more people doing it, aka you and Carve 'em Up, and I was like, wait, this is actually a thing. Like people are really, and that's when I started like appreciating it way more. The art to it, because I saw different styles. I saw Addy's style, I saw your style, Carve 'em Up style. It's all unique. It's all like same in a certain way, but it's all different and unique. And then you started slowly introducing me to it. So Defrag started slowly introducing me to like the little things, the zooms and all that. It's super basic stuff, nothing to like what you and Carve 'em Up and Addy was doing. And then it started blowing up. I started appreciating it because it's like, wait. It's kind of like my own thing too, in a way. It's like what you're saying. It's like the same tool in a sense.
Yeah.
It's not exactly the same.
Paintbrush, just used a different way. Just kind of, it does the same thing, but
exactly.
You can put your own spin on it.
Yeah. So I was so happy. Like I always think about it. It doesn't seem so long ago, but just a year ago. Well, okay, maybe a year ago. But I would say a year ago from now, I didn't have any of it.
Yeah.
The most I had was the Ramenstyle transition you made for me.
Yeah.
But other than that, that was
not
nothing.
Even. You just talking about like this like nameplate. I don't even think I had the transition.
It was the placeholder, kind of the placeholder-ish.
I never replaced it. I'll get around to that.
It was that was it. And like last year, thinking about it right now, it's like shit. That was last year, and it seems so long ago, but
it does. It's weird.
It's not at all. I don't even know how many months it's been since I started personally doing this whole thing.
Yeah.
With you.
Well, I think I've been in your channel like 16 months or something. Like it's something
June
like that.
2018. You were definitely
longer
the first
than that.
month.
I think it's longer than that.
I think a year and 7 months at this point, or almost 8 months. But check. I only started trying it myself, like these little effect things, less than a year ago. And I always look back at old clips. I'm like, holy crap! My stream was so basic. It's not really an insult to myself, but it's more of like, we've gone a really, really long way, and I'm always grateful.
Months.
I'm so glad, I got to 17 months. There you go. I'm always so glad that I got to first of all meet the Tarkov community.
Yeah,
and then eventually led up to meeting all of you guys. One of the most amazing things that's ever happened to me. And me getting to Tarkov was an accident too. It was just Pew Pow. I mean, you guys know who Pew Pow is. Those of you who don't know who Pew Pow is one of the most legendary people in the world, literally. And he one day gifted me Escape from Tarkov. I remember I think I was playing PUBG, and he was like, "Stop playing that game, man. PS4 PUBG." He's like, "Let me gift you standard account of this game." He gave me Tarkov. I was like, what is this game? I don't know. I'll try it someday. And then like a few days after he gifted it to me, tried it for the first time. Since then, I've been hella hooked. And here we are on this podcast, by the way.
PewPie and Jams. Good guys. Like
PewPie and Jams were such nice dudes. It was funny because I've known Jams for a bit in the Philippine streaming community, but we only really became friends when I met Pew Pow, I think, or a little bit before Pew Pow. Yeah, around that time, basically. Like when I got into Tarkov, that's when we got to know each other.
So you met those guys through streaming, essentially?
Through streaming, yes. Jams, I found out later on that he was my brother's classmate. Like,
what?
Like literally throughout his whole life.
Oh my God.
I was like, oh shoot, that's a small world. Yeah, he asked me like, are you the brother of this and that? And I'm like, yeah, how do you know? He was my classmate in like high school and stuff. I'm like, what?
Small world.
Yeah, super small world. And yeah, Pew Pow was he just Pew Pow was known. He's known in the streaming community, and then he one day hosted me, and he was like, "Hey man, play Tarkov." I'm like, okay, and then here we are, years later. But yeah, it's been wild, man. What a trip.
I know. And like as well, you think about like where Tarkov is now. It's like Arvmub said something yesterday, I think it was. He was saying at Christmas time there was on record about 30,000 players on average, and now there's like 133 or 130,000.
And yeah, I didn't even know that.
Yeah, so like, yeah, I think he was talking because they were talking about like, you know, when are the new updates coming out or whatever, and he's like, I think they're just trying to keep the servers up at the minute.
Yeah,
just trying to hold on because there's been such a surge, and it's like,
yeah,
you know, people like, obviously Tarkov has had different surges on like, you know, new patch releases and wipes and stuff. You know, it was always the running, not joke, but the running feeling that, you know, first few days of Tarkov after a patch launch with the busiest days. The first week was the best week, and then it was just like
dies out. Yeah, and like a huge, especially for Asian servers.
Yeah,
you know, I would say I'll complain about that all the time on stream. I'd be like, guys, we're gonna have like 2 weeks of fun, and then it's gonna be like,
and everyone's gone.
Yeah, it's crazy, man.
And
even just like so, I never really kept in touch with like the actual player count of Tarkov, but what I do keep in touch with is the total viewership of, you know, when you see the browse category, you know,
it's like
browse on Twitch,
on average, isn't it?
On average, and I remember days of off peak where like off peak hours it'd be like 1,000, on peak almost 10K.
Yeah, I remember that.
Almost 10K, not even. Yeah,
seeing it in like the 700s and stuff. Like
under 1,000 every now and then, you know, every now and then when you find out a new, like one of the big streamers hop on Tarkov, it's like, oh my god, summits on Tarkov, these shrouds on Tarkov, no way, you know, like. And then now it's just so I'm, as a Tarkov streamer and player, it's a weird feeling of being like, how blessed are we to be like at the right place at the right time? Like, no way.
You get to enjoy a game you love. Also, it's like like blooming. I guess you bring that back. You know, it's like it's hitting that point where feeling of people know it's a great game.
True. It's a weird feeling of like how, you know, you've seen people, you know, kind of grow their, you know, get known or grow their stuff because they were on the game at the right place, right time.
Yeah.
I was like, no way I was on that, right? There's no way. No way. Till today, I'm like, nah, this is, you know, it's going to die down or something, like, you know, just not being too of a pessimist, but it's like, you know, every day I'm always like, no way, dude. I'm so grateful as a Tarkov guy. Like, oh, man.
I know. And like, it seems so, like, it's not dwindling at all. And there's no, like, it's really, I don't think people really understand the significance of like the fact that it isn't dwindling, but also like there's no planned like big update. They're not like, you know, oh, there's a map right around the corner or something like that. Like, there's nothing. People aren't like holding out for something. It's just people are just playing the game as it is right now, and that's, you know, holding popularity now. You know, and you even see like Dr. Disrespect and like Summit and Sacriel, like they are like, I think they realize, especially like Summit and Sacriel, especially Sacriel, I'd say, like, is really aware of the like community strength behind Tarkov. Like, it's a great community. It was always a good community, but now because it's amplified so much, he's seeing so much more of that. And like, you know, he averages like sort of 10,000 people, I think. Same with Summit. I think he's like 21,000. And
even
Doc's
more
just always, you know, Doc and Summit are always just massive numbers. But like, I think, you know, it's not you can't play Tarkov as a fad. You know, it's not something, it's not a non-committal kind of game. It's full of, and like as they like add more to it, you know, it's just kind of like, you know, slowly opening the bag. You know, like you see like something, you like, oh, what's that? And you just like open it more and more. And there's just like more and more Tarkov, and it's just like, this is beautiful. And so like people like know that there's a lot of like you know, I don't know, there's a lot of parts, you know, that we still haven't seen, because like it's an in-depth game, like, you know, but it's like, and it is brutal to new people, and like you said it before, it's got a steep learning curve. But I think that with that in mind, combined with like Twitch and just content creators, you know, supporting and like playing through it so much, people can see into the potential future of what it would be like for them down the line once they get past the learning curve, you know what I mean? So it doesn't seem so hopeless and like relentlessly like brutal against them as new players. It's like over time, I mean, it's obvious, like, you know, any game over time, the more you play it, the better you will get at it, the more you know.
Yeah.
But sometimes you need to kind of see, it's like a preview into the future of, you know, how how good it can be. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Because
I get you. Like the potential is just like endless for it.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So I think with that and with more people, you know, seeing potential of that, like even like all Carve 'em Ups, like new videos as well. It's like, it's a brilliant series where he's like, you know, he's instantly thinking from a new player's perspective, but also a not as new player's perspective. People who want to have reference information that is not 27 minutes long. You know, like there's some of these Tarkov streamers, and like they're all great. You know, I'm not going to name anybody, but and their videos are good, but they're long videos, like half an hour for you know, like a budget gun, or half an hour for like, you know, finding particular, like, you know, good spots for whatever task, you know. It's a lot to go through, and like maybe it's impossible to compress some of those down to shorter bits, but he's just like picking, you know, the foundation stuff and just doing like, you know, the Tarkov 2-minute tutorials. I love alliteration. So he's like, he's got that down. And I think that just like, and he's like even saying to me today, like his videos are like getting more and more popular. They're just like, he was showing me the graph and it was just going like that there. And like, that just shows you people are like hungry for it. They're hungry for Tarkov, the game. And it's always the way when a community becomes so hungry for a game, they want to have everything about it. They want, you know, they want to like have Tarkov videos. They want to have Tarkov tutorials. They want to watch everything. You know, if I find something I'm like new, like freshly interested in, and you look at my YouTube history, chances are I've just been looking up every aspect of that new thing. If it's a new game that I'm really into, you know, back when I was playing like, you know, Star Wars Battlefront, like my entire YouTube history was just, you know, best guns, builds, you know, all these things. And I was just like, I was everything Battlefront for me. Like, so I feel like that in a way is like what people are doing at the minute, which is just going to keep, that's going to keep rippling out and keep Tarkov.
Yeah, it's just going to like
where it's
keep Tarkov relevant. Yeah, it's going to keep like people talking about it, you know. Good time. It's a good time for Tarkov, and I'm so happy to see like all my Tarkov heroes, like, you know, Destiny, Deadly, and everyone, Anton, all the big boy streamers. They're just even they're just like growing, and everyone's getting to know them. I have friends from the Philippines who, you know, didn't know a single Tarkov streamer, and you know, they know about all these other ones. I'm like, damn, son, nice. Like everyone's getting to, you know, getting deeper into the Tarkov community, and man, that's one thing I wanted to bring up is like how good the Tarkov community is. That's like hands down. That's man, I can't even put to words how amazing Tarkov community has been. In the last almost 2 years of at least of me playing the game. The most genuine dudes I've met online, and how welcoming everyone is as well to new players. When I was new, everyone wanted to teach me how to play the game.
Yeah.
When I was new to like something like Counter-Strike, it's like, you suck. You suck, dude. Game, Ray. But Tarkov was very, you know.
Why you pick?
But Tarkov was a lot more chill. It was a lot more, and I see it today. You know, the amount of people who are teaching new players. You know, shout out to all the Sherpas out there and stuff. It's crazy how much, you know, all the YouTube guys as well. You know, Carve 'em Up and everyone doing these beginners guide tutorials and all that. It's so good, man. It's just so wholesome. I think there's no other word than it's so wholesome, and I love it.
You recently you've been talking to me about and you've been doing a lot of like non-Twitch kind of content. I guess that like leads on from like Carver doing that, but I think you've been like sort of looking into it for a good while now, even before you did the studio revamp. And maybe you were saying about trying like a Instagram. Oh, I've done something weird to trying like Instagram, and I think you've tried TikTok as well, haven't you? Like, you know, just like experimenting with that kind of stuff. Yep. And then also you're doing the YouTube videos as well. Like, do you think, like, what kind of pushed you into like wanting to create more content but for a different medium? You know, like what do you think of whenever like you're thinking of like making like YouTube videos? Like, there must have been something like that you like inside you that you were like, I would really like to try this out. Like, why ramen?
I think
why?
Yeah, it was why. It was a long process of like, I think, just self-awareness kind of thing. It was a super long process of trying to get to know myself. Like, it's, and until now, I'm still figuring myself out. Like, what am I good at? How can I bank on it? You know, like, personally, at where I currently stand, I'm self-aware enough knowing that I'm putting so much energy right now into Instagram. I'm all like, for outside of Twitch, number one effort right now is Instagram. Number two is TikTok. Number three is YouTube. And I know for other people, it's always the other way around. Like, YouTube's first, and then later, like Instagram, you don't really, whatever, you know, kind of put it out there if you want to. But it's all about YouTube. And I just felt like every time I do YouTube videos, I still intend to upload YouTube videos and stuff, but I could say that it's just not. It doesn't roll off of me as good as something like what I do on Instagram and stuff.
Yeah.
It was like, as much as, you know, everyone, it's something I'm trying to build. I'm trying to get better at, but somehow Instagram worked. I started doing these like 1 minute videos that you guys see on my Twitter and Instagram, and same things on TikTok, but I try to cater it per platform. Like for Twitter and Instagram, it's just a mirror video, just a different caption. And then TikTok is, I trim it shorter and then put a song over it, and then, you know, let it roll on TikTok. But it was, I think the reason why I started was that I was looking for more growth. And I felt like I was giving my all on Twitch as a streamer. Like, what else could I do? Like, you know, I couldn't think of anything else to be better on stream aside from, you know, all these effects I'm adding, all these whatever, renovating the studio. Like, there's no way to make me a better streamer, period, in the short term. You know, it's just the long term. Yeah. And I realized how much time I have in a day. And I was like, you know what? Why am I being such a lazy butt? And I see other people doing like YouTube and this and that. And every time I do YouTube videos, it's just not like, I don't know. I'm not good at doing, I right where I stand today at this very second, I could tell myself I'm not very good at like the whole YouTube game as a Tarkov streamer. I'm like, I can do great. I mean, I feel confident in doing great Tarkov streams, but like YouTube doesn't come natural to me for some reason, and I don't know why. But maybe I'm still learning, you know, as I stand. Maybe in a year from now, is episode 170,003. I'm like, dude, I figured it out. You know, who knows? But Instagram right now somehow clicked for me. I super enjoy making quick 1 minuters, and my favorite part is not only like, hey, you know, you have moments where you can kill 3 guys in like 5 seconds. Okay, put that on Instagram. But the videos I enjoy editing the most are the ones that I have to get different parts of a raid and try to put it together into a 1 minute story.
Yeah, because like a raid can last upwards of like you know, half an hour sometimes as well. So it's like
trying to condense it into like a 1 minute story, and I like that because it's quicker to make, and I just enjoyed, like, I felt like I was going through Instagram and TikTok. I talked to Defrag about this in the DMs. I was like, I've been studying TikTok, Instagram and stuff, and mostly Instagram. There's like there are a lot of Instagram gamers and stuff, but I feel like it's a lot more up for grabs than it is on YouTube. That's why I tripled down on Instagram. I was like, oh, dude, I think there's still space for me on Instagram. YouTube, I was competing with a lot of great YouTubers, man. Like everyone's making really great Tarkov content. What else can I make? I didn't really know where to start. But on Instagram, every time I upload like a 1 minute moment, like a 1 minute raid, a condensed 1 minute raid of like what happened, why it was intense, a little bit of storytelling here and there, people loved it. Like the engagement was so organic. People like saying like, oh my God, that was amazing. Or it's not just like some spammy comment, and the likes started shooting up. It was just one. I remember I've been uploading on Instagram for like almost a year now, but it's only like the past, since like December. It's currently Feb 20 in like mid-December, I started uploading on Instagram. I mean, no, I revamped the way I edit on Instagram. Before, I used to raw clips, put it, done, upload and leave. I'm good. Now what I do is I edit. I actually try to tell a story, and I always put subtitles because I want to emphasize that you got to read this. You got to know the dialogue. You can't just watch it. It's not just a highlight. You got to know what I'm saying.
Yeah,
there's something I'm saying here that relates to the raid.
Like
why this
narrative.
kill is super meaningful. Yeah. And once I started doing that, people, the first thing I noticed was not only did the likes jump up from like 50s to like 200s, 300s, but the comments as well. People were actually asking or saying things that were at the end of the video, even like, oh, it's a 1 minute video, but they say something about the end. I was like, it's working. It's somehow it's working. And it kept going and going. I kept snowballing with it. So right now I've been super focused on Twitch, Instagram, and TikTok is still something I'm continuously trying to figure out, but Instagram has helped so much. I would say like currently, I would say at least 10 to 15% of my viewership at this moment is from Instagram.
That's
a lot of them are from
impressive.
Instagram. Yeah.
Like that's really that's something. Like that was going to be the next thing I was going to ask you is like, what do you think of the turnover? I guess, people who have seen your stuff that are actually then coming in. But I've seen a few people like even just in chat going, I found you on Instagram.
Yeah.
It's like,
exactly.
I was like, what? Like, what is going on? It's like, so it's like, there's the resurgence of the Tarkov community to a degree it's, I would argue, maybe never really been at before. Not this consistent anyway over a sustained period of time. Yeah. And then what you're doing on Instagram in tandem with that and already being a long-standing Tarkov, content creator. It's like, those are three really strong kind of factors, like, for what you're doing right now. It's great. That's great. That 10 to 15%, that's really good. Like,
the reason why I say 10 to 15 is that I'm trying to count top of my head. I could confidently say at least like 5, which is about 10%.
Yeah.
Are from Instagram. At least even today, thinking about today's stream, I'm like, a bunch of them were from Instagram. Like if you're from Instagram, comment on this podcast. Fuck it. No, but
time below.
It's weird, man, because like I never thought it would be Instagram for me. I remember having multiple, because Alex, my girlfriend, she works in like the whole marketing thing. That's her whole thing, social media and all that. And I was talking to her about all these social media platforms, and I was saying how like Instagram seems to be like the one where I have space to fit in. Like I said earlier, everyone's making great YouTube content. It's very like I could try to think of something, but like just my efficiency with YouTube is not great. Like my ideas that I want to do, I have to put so much effort into it. With Instagram, it comes out natural. Like I'm like, this is gonna work. I know people will like this so much for Instagram. So
it's interesting as well. Like I remember speaking to someone recently about it. I probably spoke to you about it, and it was about how YouTube's like their search engine like optimization for like content creators has changed. Like tags aren't relevant anymore. Like and it's all about the title of your video, and it just all seems. I mean, there's people figuring it out. I think there is, a method to not the madness, but like whatever the ingredients are to like, helping your stuff rise, higher up in the search engine on YouTube. But like for Instagram, I remember someone said, if you just take the amount of hashtags you use on YouTube and triple it, that's what you should be doing on Instagram. Like, so you're probably the best person to ask about this is like, what is your, like, not to break down exactly what you do for your posts, but like, what do you do in your,
how do I figure it out?
Yeah. Like, do you just like, is there like, a wall of like 500 hashtags below your content, or do you like go handful that you're going to go to?
So basically, on Instagram, it's 30 max hashtags. If you do more than 30, like I think it deletes your caption or something. But so you have to choose your best 30. And I used pretty much almost the same 30 every time with very minor tweaks every now and then. How I check is it's super simple. You just put the hashtag on Instagram, see if it works. If it's too much, if it's like too broad, like too many millions of posts, I won't use it. I'll do something between like 100,000 posts to like maybe a million max.
Yeah.
If it's more than a million, maybe I'll have it. But the chunk I would say of my hashtags were at the time when I checked were hundreds of thousands ish,
Right.
and not like to the mere millions. And
Right. So commonly
those are
used,
stuff-
but like not like
yeah,
not the top
not too
10,
much.
top 5 kind of ones,
Yeah.
not the saturated ones.
And then I just look at related content, whether it's Escape from Tarkov, Instagram content that are top posts, or Twitch content in general that are top posts, and I look at their hashtags, see what they use, and then click on them. And then even Instagram has this super intense feature of it shows you the related hashtags on it. You can click on those. It's just a lot of clicking on hashtags. Okay, this works. This makes sense. And then I'm sure I could optimize it a little more, but with the way it is right now, it's going okay. It's just literally a lot of trial and error, or like research of just clicking on hashtags, seeing how many people post, if your post relates to this. Because I think one thing I learned was that a lot of people actually follow hashtags. So that's something you can do on Instagram.
Yeah.
I don't know if you guys know this, but yeah, you can follow a hashtag. Say hashtag Escape from Tarkov. You can literally follow it. So every time someone posts with that hashtag, it comes out on your feed. And a lot of people do that. And every time I post, it's like a community on Instagram right now. Actually, like you get the same likers, same commenters, and you guys kind of get to know each other. I follow other content, Instagram boys, and just kind of relate, and like it's its own community, which is super fun.
No, it's great that I do follow a few hashtags as well, and I'm like, who the hell is this? Like someone who's used the hashtag and like. Like I'm like following. Yeah, it's like I'm following like home studio, and then like this like naked man appears on my screen. I'm like, I'm sitting there like I'm trying to figure out like what happened exactly. Like, but no, the hashtag follow feature is brilliant. I actually kind of feel like I was thinking about this recently. I've been thinking about this for a while. Like YouTube, I think, has the potential to become like YouTube's a big player anyway in general, like but I feel like when you look at like how you're working on Instagram and TikTok, and I find it really interesting you put YouTube third on that list. Now obviously that can be different for everybody, and for different for what content you're doing, if it's like current content, or if it's like evergreen content, stuff that like is always going to be relevant. It can be a different outcome for you depending on that, but I feel like YouTube's, like the fact that people say that YouTube's tag system doesn't work, like that is if it doesn't work, it's still sitting there. It's like stagnant. It's like they need to like turn around and retool their whole system. It's like so it feels like if they got their act together, I'm not saying that they're in a bad place, but they could definitely be way, way, way better. With things like, not just like, their search engine optimization, but things like their streaming system. Like, I don't know if you've ever been in a YouTube stream before.
I have, but it's been a long time.
Yeah, you don't even remember it because it's so bloody boring looking. Like I've been in a few before, and like one thing, like this seems like a small thing, but actually I think it's a big deal. There's no like name color customization, so everyone's name is like gray. It's like, I
think that's what Twitch does really well.
Yeah,
it's like I feel like every other platform. I haven't seen much in Mixer, but Twitch masters that. Twitch masters the whole.
They're just like, it's like
the UI, I guess. Yeah,
it's a really interesting thing. Like having the different colored names seems like coming from like using IRC and like no name script back in the day, and everyone had different
IRC, dude. Yeah,
classic. Man. Oh, I loved IRC.
It's when hashtags were different.
That's when hashtags were hashtags. Know what I mean?
Yeah, we're hashtags.
But yeah, like coming from that, and how like ineffective that stuff is now. Like like how ineffective I think YouTube streaming is like can be so great. Like I think they can like set it up well. I don't think Mixer is going to be the real competitor for Twitch. I just don't. I think it's going to be YouTube, and maybe they are working on it. I hope they are. I'm just hopeful that they're working on it, because there does need to be someone to make Twitch sweat.
Yeah.
And there's nobody. There's no one there. And I think
for like YouTube with YouTube's like size and stuff, they just have to make a better UI. It doesn't sound too. I mean,
just better UI. Like you go on and it's like, there's no, it's just not a clear way. Like you go on to a Twitch stream and it's like you've got a sub button, there's like you can buy bits to, cheer. You can have like panels below to like, donate and stuff. And like with YouTube, it's like, it doesn't make any sense. There's just not enough in it. It's like someone started making it and then they were like, yeah, I'm away. Actually, yes, it's time to go. So I'm just gonna launch it and leave it at that. YouTube streaming. All right, bye. Just like went home. It's like it just feels half baked.
Yeah.
So, but I don't know.
Yeah.
Like
there's one thing I go ahead.
So I can't imagine like the chaos for like a moderator, for example, on YouTube watching like Markiplier doing a live stream, for example.
I guess
I was in watching Jake clone and carve him up, and like they didn't like they had like I don't know maybe like 30-40 people in, and like I was like, as a mod I would not enjoy doing this. Like there was just I don't know what the layout exactly is for a mod. Maybe it looks better on their end than it did on mine, but I was just like, I don't know. They need to do
the little things.
Yeah, I need to revamp. Bottom line.
There's one thing I was thinking of about this whole YouTube versus Instagram thing. The reason why I chose Instagram, one of the biggest things as well was my lifestyle IRL. Is because like itsDefrag knows this, but for those of you who don't know, I don't live where I stream. I live across this place. It's like a 5-minute walk or less, and I get to work from my phone when I'm in, put it on YouTube. So what I do is after a quick stream, upload, do a quick edit, put it on Google Drive, go home, and then post it on my phone. I have like a chunk that's ready to go for like the next couple of days, and I just randomly post it. That's one of the reasons it's so nice. So that's one of the reasons why.
Where am I going?
Yeah, too.
Sorry, Ramen.
You gotta go.
I guess I gotta go. I'll see you tomorrow.
Oh gosh, I'll see you, Dave. What is that?
Is that Jurassic Park behind me? I'm so sorry. I've clicked something.
We can't have that on here.
Okay, carry on. Sorry. It suits your lifestyle.
There was a random Jurassic Park graphic that Dave put out here, and it's copyright, so this is not going on.
Oh my god!
No, but yeah, I just use my laptop. That's all. That's kind of like I just remembered. Yeah, why I got into Instagram over YouTube as well, because I don't like live where I work. So when I'm late at night, I can't work on a video. I just upload on Instagram too.
So at home, do you have? Because I remember whenever you were getting the apartment redone and you were doing a bit of. You moved all your stuff home, but you weren't really. You were going to stream, and then you were like, actually, you've got a lot of stuff, and you had family coming in. I remember, and you were just like, just gonna leave it.
Yeah.
So now everything's back where it is now in the studio.
Yep.
Your phone. That's really all you have at home.
Yep.
You don't have like a wee laptop or anything.
No laptop. Nope. There was a laptop I was thinking of reviving. There's like a really old MacBook 2010 that I could just literally put just get a charger on, and maybe put an SSD in it. It might work out.
Yeah.
But but it might be just for like watching streams. But I do most work here. I mean, this is even like my phone right now. It's a Note 8, probably faster than a MacBook 2010.
Yeah. So, and that's a good size phone as well. Like for this kind of stuff, like know.
And it's native to like Instagram and TikTok and all that, so it's easier to make.
Mm-hmm.
And you sometimes like you get creative at night before you head to bed, so it helps that that's why Instagram is my platform too.
Yeah.
But like who knows? Maybe when I do plan, hopefully it does both through. We'll see on fully moving here.
Into the apartment or into the studio. Sorry.
Yeah, because the living room right now is kind of like a storage room-ish, and there are some plans going on IRL right now with like my family and stuff, my parents, and there's a lot of stuff going on, and not bad things, just normal good things. And I'm planning to move here fully. Yeah, I'm thinking like maybe that's when I go all in on YouTube. But currently, I love the way Instagram's going. And,
yeah, for sure, dude. I mean, like, the numbers don't lie, so just keep doing what you're doing. It works. Like,
sure. There's one thing I also really like, how I never really knew how like people made stuff on Instagram. I see like all these like influencers and like, big names on Instagram, whatever. I always wondered, like, how do they get to that point? Like, I never really knew, like, how do you get to that whatever, like lots of influence. And I realized that, it's same with everything else, even with Twitch, is that you just make content that people like, make the best content you can, and hope for the best. Like, put effort into it, and I think that's it. Effort. When people see effort, they're like, hey, kind of like this guy. I kind of like this guy's videos. So I think it's the effort.
You either get people in who are like, I mean, some of the comments that you've shown me of people who have like commented on your Instagram videos is hilarious. People who are like the odd person who gets annoyed at your video,
there was a dude
so annoyed to the point that they're like, I'm gonna comment. I have to let him know how I feel.
There was a guy, so I say yoink a lot and whatever.
Yeah.
So I had a clip, like, yoink. Someone commented, yoink, is yoink really an adult saying yoink? What a nerd. I was like,
oh my God.
I replied to it. I forgot what I replied exactly. I think it says like, really, I said some stupid joke or whatever, and he eventually deleted the comment. I guess he felt guilty after a while because I wasn't super hostile to him.
Dude.
Yeah, but that's one thing I noticed with Instagram. I don't know what's up with you guys on Instagram who are hating on stuff, but every time, like an author to certain content replies to your comment, it disappears. That's happened so many times on Instagram when someone comments means stuff to me, and just own your
crappy comment and leave it there as a mark of stain on your life.
Yeah, there are ones though that they stand by. I respect that. Stand by your opinion.
Yeah, but if you're gonna be a jerk, just like own it. Be a jerk.
Yeah, just own it. Be a true jerk.
I think for that guy that didn't like the yoinking, you need to just post the yoink songs, like just stick them out there. and then he's gonna be like, good old Tarkov. What? Oh no! And then he were like, what account is this? And he'll see you Ramenstyle, be like, a guy who says yoink all the time. Was there not someone else you said that was like stop saying chat? Like it's really distracting, and there's no chat. There's no chat.
That was a YouTube comment. He was like, he commented, you say chat too much. It's repetitive and annoying. And he said something like, we get it. You're talking to chat. Like, you don't have to say chat over and over again. And I replied, like, I replied to him. I said, it's like telling me to stop breathing. It's something like, I just, whatever. No, if you don't like me, then it's fine. You don't have to watch me. And he said to me, well, that's probably, he said something like, that's probably why a lot of people don't follow or sub. Or he said something along those lines that you're going to annoy a lot of people, so they won't sub or follow. And I said, well, if they don't follow me, I think my reply was, if they don't follow or sub to me because I say chat too much, then maybe they shouldn't watch my content in the first place.
It's like, who gets that easily triggered? I find it like, I find it infectious. Like, I like have chat bouncing around my brain most days. Like,
I call Alex, my girlfriend. Sometimes I go chat, and she's like, "Don't call me chat." I'm like, wait, sorry.
He's like, "What did you call me?"
Man. Yeah.
That's another video we gotta make. I sent you a DM of that actually, of you going chat.
No.
You gotta make the chat montage. Like,
oh goodness. Yeah, I do want to post it. And I think that's something as well that I can. Like, just to get to that with gaming and versus like my past life in videography was how I'm comfortable making fun of myself with gaming.
Yeah.
With videography, I wasn't comfortable with that.
Yeah.
I wanted to be like perfect videos, perfect whatever,
Yeah.
With gaming, it's like if I fuck up, saying whatever, guys. I mean, I suck, so whatever. Yeah. Like, what are you gonna do?
exactly.
I'm
Yeah.
still doing my shit. So yeah.
I think it's as well that kind of attitude is because you're just you love it so much. You're just happy to do it regardless of the good or the bad times that come with it. You know, if you're getting yoinked or you're yoinking, you know, it's like I just use that in Tarkov and like out of Tarkov, you know, yoinked in life or yoinking in life is like a anyone listening is gonna be like, what the hell is he talking about, yoinking?
But to be fair, now that you mentioned that, anyone listening to this, so if we do want to start this as a podcast that's within the community, yes, if you guys are listening. So if you guys are listening to this, you're probably a good friend of ours.
Yeah. But maybe do you want to explain what yoinking is? Just
yoink, I don't even know how that started. Yoink is when you yoink stuff. Yeet is when you yeet stuff.
That's it. All right, we'll move on.
When you say yoink, it's like you take something or you kill something in game, and then when you yeet, you kind of like throw it out, go extract or run away. You yeet.
Yeah.
But we use it interchangeably. I don't even know how it started. I just started saying it on stream, and then Nate. I remember Nate was the one who kind of turned the Yaz into something. He kept saying it in chat. I kept reading it. I started saying it the way Nate says it.
Mm-hmm.
And then it's just some infectious, stupid thing that doesn't make sense. Yeah.
Oh dear.
But it's cool though, because like, it's cool hearing other people say it. And it's like, hey, cool. Like within the network at least.
It's become part of the stream, really. Like, I mean, of course it has. There's theme songs for it, but it's great. I love it. Oh, Nate.
Yeah, I remember Carver Up once dropped by my stream and he was like, I was brushing my teeth, like whatever, and it was like last night, whatever. He's like, he was saying yoink or something while brushing his teeth. I was like, what were you yoinking, Carver? And he was like, I don't know. I just kept saying it.
Just saying yoink. Oh, it's just a great word. It's just one of those words.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's good.
I guess we can wrap it up here.
Yeah.
It's almost 2 hours of.
Must be pretty late for you now. It must be like what, midnight?
It's 12:23. Yeah, it's all good though.
Okay. Cool.
Another thing, guys. Time zone.
I will speak to you again soon. And this was good. I enjoyed it.
Yeah, I did too. You want to say anything? Like, I don't know, like anything about any thoughts on the podcast or anything you want to say?
I don't know if we did call it. It's called podcast, by the way, podcast BTW. I'm gonna edit this bit out if I can't get the URL for it, but it should be youtube.com. No, wait, I don't know. I don't even know where we're posting it. It'll be wherever you're seeing or hearing this right now.
It's definitely gonna be on YouTube and Spotify primarily. We want to,
Go watch Ramenstyle, twitch.tv/Ramenstyle. He's a great streamer, and he streams pretty much every day. And
and Defrag as well. Is hire him. He makes music.
Just hire me. Just give me your money.
You have like some corporate thing. You need some music for your video game.
Yep.
Do it.
Just get me in there. I'll make a mess of it and charge you extortionate rates.
Yes, and Defrag makes some transitions as well. I can't really show the transition because I have no other scene to go to here.
It's okay.
But he makes great transitions. Yes.
Just take his word for it.
If you guys need some motion graphics for your stream, probably get Beef.
Perfect.
He's worth the money. Promise.
I appreciate that. I'll send you the money for that BS you just said there.
Use code Ramenstyle, by the way, for
code Ramenstyle. Use creator code Ramenstyle.
Yeah, and it makes the fee more expensive, but I get a cut. So who cares? Yeah.
All right.
But yeah. Oh, one more thing. If someone reached this point, we should let us know if you actually reached this point.
We
say
should
something. It was like a secret word. Yeah.
Secret word. Yeah. Hopscotch.
Hopscotch.
Also,
if you made it to this point, I just want to know.
I think as well, we should even just open up, people who are listening and commenting on this, if there's any topics you guys are interested in hearing our insight on, obviously leave them below or, get in contact with us and let us know, or just any ideas or whatever you just want to, because this is like, it is a conversation between Ramen and myself, but like it's also, it is, as we've been talking about the community as well. It's like, it's everybody. So it is a conversation that goes beyond this podcast, that we can continue in future podcasts. So anything you guys are thinking of, you want to talk about, want us to talk about, insight, questions, just keep them to yourself, because we don't want to know. No, let us know in the comments, and we will, we'll cover them in the future, I would say, within reason.
If there's something we said that like kind of like maybe ticks you off, or you said something wrong, or just cut us some slack. We're dumbasses. That's all.
Yeah, just
we know what we're talking about. We're just,
if there's something that has annoyed you, just type !gift sub in chat, and then type your name afterwards, and then type !claim, and just see yourself out, because I'm done.
But yeah, real talk though, if you guys reach this point, just say hopscotch on stream or something. I don't know, on the comments of this video. Just DM us hopscotch, whatever. I just want to know who actually reached the 2-hour mark, so we know if we should keep it 2 hours in the future or keep it at 15 minutes.
Oh yeah.
All right.
15 minutes. Okay.
Yeah. 15, by the way, 1-5. So
1-5. Right. We're gonna wrap it there.
See
you guys in a wee bit.
Yeah. Is the jingle part?
Haven't read it yet.